when you look at illegal trade, we have to break it down further, I think, because the trade part of it, while it's illegal, may not have an impact on the forest, on the resource base. So we have to look back towards the forest itself, whether the harvesting is illegal in the first place. But before that even, whether the concession or the forest has been given out legally in that sense, and there are no illegalities involved, because that creates distorted processes in terms of how land use is being allocated to the different resource base in the countries. So if the resource base is allocated well, legally, and the harvesting and management is legal, then there should be the legal supply chain throughout, all the way from the forest to the consumers. And what we want to do is to ensure that the constraints, for example, overburdening administrative procedures and so on, which leads to illegality, are reduced to a minimum, but also that there is transparency in the way the resource is managed and the products, both timber and non-timber forest products, are removed from the forest, processed, and sold along the supply chain. Green supply chain will be very important for local communities. Right now, the local communities are facing a lot of constraints and challenges. Firstly, in accessing its resource itself, to be given the rights to the resource, but when they're given the rights even, to be able to manage it well, because they are local communities in that sense, they're already constrained. They do not have a lot of the technical support, the backing, financial, and so on, that allows them to actually manage the resource in a way that that big companies can do. You know? So they would feel very strongly that if they can get the right resource and the right support, they will be able to ensure that they, together with their partners, with the government involvement as well as investors and others, will be able to manage the resource well, and then to ensure that the supply chain, the products reach the market, and they will get a profit. At the moment, part of the challenge is that they do not have access to markets. They live in remote areas, and it's very difficult. A lot of profits actually goes to middlemen, to others, and they get only minimal benefits in that sense. So there is a lot that we can do, and Civil Society Advisory Group, CSAC, of which I'm the chair, feels very strongly that we need to do more to support the local communities and indigenous peoples especially, because they actually live on the fringe or within the forest resource that we are talking about managing sustainably. And there's a role for everyone to play in ensuring that.